Good morning. Welcome to I guess this is module 13. This week we're going to be talking about Shinto. This is a religion you might not know very much about at all. It exists kind of in its own world. It is what we call the indigenous religion of Japan. So the vast majority of people who follow Shinto are in the country of Japan. It's still well over 100 million people who might call adherents, but that's relatively small compared with Christianity or Islam. Like I said, this is really nothing like any of the religions we've studied so far. There are no scriptures. There is no concept really of a higher deity, not in the Judeo-Christian Islamic monotheistic understanding of one God, nor the polytheistic Buddhist, Hindu, Jainist conception as well. There's no set liturgy, meaning no set prayers that you say at the same time every day or every week or every year, like there is certainly in Judaism or Christianity or Islam. It is, I guess the best way to sort of sum up that is that it's experiential versus performative, meaning the way in which you practice Shinto is through doing things rather than saying specific prayers. It's been referred to as action-centered versus belief-centered. Not really as neither is bad, but it's just very different. There are a couple things that I want to highlight. You'll see a reading. You'll have a reading to do about this as well, but just sort of some of the ways in which Shinto differs from the other religions we've talked about. The most important sort of thing that you need to understand is the Shinto concept of the kami, which are sort of supernatural entities who live in all living things. These are the sort of, they're certainly not deities the way that I've understood them so far this year, but they are the closest analogs to deities that exist in Shinto. Many families, especially this has become more popular in the last century or two, have shrines at home to various kamis. I don't speak Japanese to know how to decline that noun. They also, an important component of this religion, and we'll talk about that word this week in the context of Shinto, is going back to what I said about action-centered versus belief-centered. One of the major components of Shinto are these public festivals called matsuri, where the kami are venerated. People, dance, act, sing. They perform kagura, which is the music and dance for kami. And this is sort of the major collective way in which Shinto is practiced. We have festivals in lots of other religions as well, but this tends to be different in that it is sort of a major component of the religion. There is, largely due to geography, a significant Buddhist influence, which should not shock you. For more than a millennium, Buddhism was a heavy influence on Shinto. But when the Meiji Emperor restored the power of the emperor in 1867, one of the things that he did as he took control of Shinto in general is to expel all Buddhist influence. Largely there's part of it as a geopolitical concept, not wanting China to have as much influence on Japan. But it's also to sort of get back to the roots of Shinto. Another major difference between sort of the religions we've studied previously and Shinto is that there is no end time. There is no end goal. There's no what we call the study of the end of the world in religion is called eschatology. There's none of that in Shinto. Time is cyclical. and things happen kind of over and over, but only if you're able to do things at the proper time, perform actions at the proper time, meaning this which is called sacred time, and in the proper way, which is sacred action. So that means having the matsuri at the right time and performing, rituals with the shrine at the right time, and having, singing correct songs at the right time. All of these contribute to the perception and conception of time in Shinto. It is a little bit complicated. You will certainly read about it and watch about it, and we'll talk about it this week, especially as we debate the extent to which we can even reasonably consider it a religion in the same context as we consider the others a religion. There is some scholarly debate about that. Meanwhile, in the next 2 weeks, so before Thanksgiving, I'm going to want to meet with each of you to talk about your projects. So you need to have a topic. You need to know, we have started your research. I'm happy to point you in the right direction, but I want to talk with you. So I will be putting up a sort of list of times. You guys can choose, you can email me. There's only 3 of you, so we can be pretty flexible about this. But I want us to continue moving forward. I don't want the project to sort of fall off your radar screens, especially as given that, it's this time of year. There's lots of other things demanding your time. Other than that, have a great one. I will talk to you guys soon.